Hey guys, welcome back to The Poor Investor. Today, I will be picking another XCH winner, and on top of that, I'm going to show you guys a little tip on a few things that I did on eBay to get some great deals. I'm going to show you guys a few ways to save some money or buying it on the cheap to get into Chia if you really want to without breaking the bank. So maybe if you had like $500 or maybe even $1,000. Now, if you had $1,000, obviously the limit that you set higher will get you a lot more going forward. Let's get into this today. Let me show you guys right now what we have. Here's a few of my older videos. I didn't realize that I've been talking about Chia for so long now, over a year, almost daily. I didn't realize it until someone actually said it to me. It was actually another crypto YouTuber online that was saying like, wow, you're like just all Chia. I didn't really think about it at the time they said it, and I'm looking back at all my videos now and I'm like, holy, I mean, do you guys see all these videos? Occasionally I would talk about like Raptorium, which I was doing for a while, and I've transitioned off of Raptorium right now, and I'm actually doing Monero with my CPUs. Also had my Ethereum miner that I still talk about occasionally, but Chia has ranked up there in regards to what my content has become on YouTube, which is insane. But I did want to show you guys something. Before I go on, there were a few things that I did way in the beginning. I did a bunch of how-tos, how to plot and how to get your rig set up and all that other good stuff, but I haven't done that lately, so I probably would redo it again with all these new versions, and they look a lot different from when it was a year ago. So now the other thing was, what I really wanted to show you was the open frame rig, which is the 34 hard drive that I set up, and I'm looking for it right now as I'm speaking. Right here, you guys see this, the 34 hard drive mining rig frame. So this is the one where I built it, and this is where I actually installed the hard drive and explained some of the components that I've had that I put together in here. Now, I find this frame to be a lot more efficient and a lot quieter than some of the servers that we're gonna look at. Let me just go over to eBay really quick. So this is the open frame. I actually, on Reddit today, someone asked like, what's the best and alternate solution, cheapest to get, you know, hard drives in there? And my first thing that I did wrong that I would say was buying 8-bay enclosure PC case, Antec PO1. All right, so mistake number one that I did, I mean, I still love this case, but for the price, and I could only put in 8 hard drives in here, was very limiting. I mean, even though at the time when I only had around 8 to 10 hard drives, that wasn't too bad as I was growing out this farm. I mean, if I had a choice of seeing this before buying this Antec case, I would have definitely bought the 34 hard drive open frame rig, which was going to be a lot easier to set up and have so much more room for expanding without having to find alternate ways or buying another enclosure just to accommodate another harvester. Right now, this is my farm and I have it completely built out. Like you can see here, it's just your standard components, your PSU, your motherboard, and probably a PCIe SATA connection that you can get like 16 or 24 connection. For the longest time, I haven't gone on eBay to check on Chia stuff. And in the beginning, when we typed in Chia, it used to just bring you a whole bunch of like Chia hard drive stuff. Now it reverts back to Chia seeds, because I'm pretty sure at this point people who are searching Chia on eBay is probably getting more hits for Chia seeds than it is for getting Chia crypto or Chia farming, which I don't suggest you doing. It's good to reference to see what's out there. Now, if you type in Chia farming, it will net you a bunch of products that will be catered to Chia. I don't suggest you doing this, but it is a good basis to see what people are having out there and what they're selling. Some of the actual farms that people are trying to get rid of right now, like this one for instance. This is literally a farm that someone's selling for $2,000. Now, I'm not going to go into the full details of what he's selling and what he has, but they're just 3 to 4 terabyte hard drives. For that kind of money, I could probably build out something a lot more efficient and better that I wouldn't use this one in particular. When you look up these like Chia farming specific products, now they're not labeled as Chia product, but whoever's selling it is trying to capitalize on that. So right now, this 4U36 bay server, you know, the specs may be a little high, but if you were to just look for a 4U36 bay server alone without the Chia word, probably would get you a better price on that. So let's see what he has over here in this one. This is a full operational machine. So it has a SAS expander, there's 64 gigs of RAM. So you would still be applying to Mad Max and you wouldn't be able to utilize the RAM disk unless you double the RAM that he has there. 2 PSU. So this This is a super micro, not too bad, but let's omit the super micro part, paste in a 4U36 base server and see how much that comes out to. Now, of course, you can start seeing some of the prices come down a little bit, but again, in comparison to this Chia Farming super micro, they're just tagging it and probably going to cost a little more than if you were to find it not labeled Chia. Like this one, for instance, there's also 64 gigs of RAM. There's a processor. This is a E5 2620 and an E5 2650. So obviously the price is a little lower on this one because of the current specs on it. But you have to remember, if you're using it to farm Chia, you don't need a top-notch machine. But if you're going to be using it to plot and farm, then yeah, you're going to need something a little more powerful. I'm not too sure how this will hold up as far as plotting. If you double the RAM, you know, plot to RAM, and that'll be a little more efficient than what you get for the processor, or how many threads you get for the processor. And that's pretty much what I would have done differently coming into Chia, is looking for deals. That's just the enclosures, right? You're saying, where are the hard drives that we need to get all this running? Now, so then you have two options. So you can use a 34 hard drive enclosure like these. It's not a full machine, so you can't really plot. But then again, you can build on top of this to build a decent plotting machine. Maybe it's AMD or Intel you choose to buy. Maybe recycle an old motherboard or a processor that you have laying around and utilize this being a cheaper solution than to get a full enclosure. Now these, I have to remind you, here I have one of them right here. They're loud. You can control the fan speed, but at the same time, no matter how low you put it, it's still going to have that little whining noise. In comparison to the open frame that I have over there, it's going to be a lot quieter, but it's going to attract more dust and it's not going to have really sufficient airflow. But of course, you can see here, you can put optional fans. So a lot of the times the fans do not come with these frames, so you have to remember that. So let's quickly look for some hard drives. Here I know for a fact that the 10 terabyte hard drives, these are SAS drives. All right, so these will not work unless you get converters to convert them back to SATA in order to make it work with this open frame. So there is a trade-off right now. In order to buy these 10 terabyte drives at like $100, you have to have something that can actually run the SAS drives. In this case, these super micro machines or any type of server enclosures are able to accommodate the SAS drive. So there is a little trade-off where you pay for a little more price of the server enclosures, but you can also buy the drives at a cheaper price. If you bought a 10 terabyte, let's just say a 10 terabyte SATA drive. So let's in comparison, $100 for a SAS 10 terabyte, but if you wanted SATA drives, they are going to run a little more. So you can see right here, even for the cheapest one right now, it's $140 for a 10 terabyte SATA drive. Now this is like $94, but then the shipping for like $15.48, so it's not that cheap anymore. So there is a trade-off to that. But if you have existing hard drives or you have external hard drives, you can chuck them and then place them into the 34 open frame like I did, because I had about a dozen external hard drives and I started just taking them all apart and I started throwing them. So of course I shucked every hard drive that I had and I threw it into this frame.
Here's a bunch of drives that I have connected right now.
I saw in the recent Chia Reddit, you know, someone was still asking like, oh, what kind of enclosure that's economical and affordable? And I said, oh, you know what? Let me just make another video to recap on what I did and what I would have done differently if I did it again now. So before we go any further, let me pick today's winner. I want to say Adam, the person that I picked previously, but he reached out to me and said, you know what? Keep it. I wanted to go to the next person. You guys are so damn generous. It's not even funny anymore. I'm trying to give away these XCHs and no one's taking it. What's going on, guys? So let me have right here 5 Chia use cases explained. This one was pretty good in viewership, but what's going on with the comments, guys? Come on. All right, let's go to the TubeBuddy. Pick a winner. Hey, cat profile pick person, Kalkim, reach out to me on the Discord so I could guide you on how to get your XCHs. Awesome. Thank you again, Kalkim. Remember to hit me up on the Discord. Please remember to hit that like, comment, and subscribe because I'm still giving away XCHs, and I want to thank you guys for always being here. So I'll see you again really soon. Bye.